everyone, welcome to today's webinar with Level Lemonade. I'm Zoe, I'm one of the campaign managers here at Birchal, and just before I introduce Krish Gravener from Level Lemonade, I would like to quickly acknowledge the traditional owners of the land Birchal is based on, which is the lands of the Wurundjeri people of the Kulin nation, and we pay our respects to their elders past, present and emerging. These webinars are a fantastic opportunity to learn more about the incredible businesses on the platform and hear more from their founders. And as mentioned before, today I am here with Krish Gravener from Level Lemonade. And Krish is going to take you through a presentation today, and then we'll throw over to him to get to all your questions about this investment opportunity that's coming up. If you look at the bottom of your screen in Zoom, you'll see that there's a Q&A bubble. So if you have any questions in today's session, please pop them in that Q&A bubble. And you can also upvote anyone else's questions, and I'll be filtering via that upvote function so that we can get to the most in-demand questions. Today's session is also being recorded. So if you do have to jump off early or leave for whatever reason, it'll be available not long after. Just very quickly, I want to talk about Birchal's role in this whole process. Birchal allows people to invest in early stage companies like never before. Investors are able to purchase ordinary shares in Australian small businesses and startups, and should consider their investments as medium to long term. As the crowdsource funding platform, we act as the gatekeeper to ensure that the investment offers that we host are compliant with ASIC laws. And there's a lot more information on our websites, but I'm sure we'll get a couple of questions about Birchal today that I can answer along the way. I'll stop talking and I'll hand over to Krish now.
Thank you very much, Zoe. Hello, everybody. Thank you so much for taking your well-deserved lunch break to hear me try and convince you why it should be a great idea for you to become a co-owner with me of Level Lemonade. The way I'm going to spend the next 30 minutes with you is about short introduction for team, corporate structure, the product, then talking about why I think the timing is right for you to invest, as well as sharing an outlook of what else we have in play here, and explaining a bit more about the raise and what we're intending to do with the funds we'll hopefully be able to collect, and then ending up with a summary before you have a 30-minute window to grill me on whatever question may come to mind. Let's start with the team. Ultimately, I'm not going to go through everybody here. I think the important message of this chart is we are small. We are a small Australian business. Australian, I prepared this earlier. I'm not sure if you can see that. This is my passport, everyone. The German accent. I'll try not to mention the war, but ultimately, this is us. This is the whole team of Level Lemonade. And the corporate structure we're talking about is important. So what I'm talking to you about is this entity here. It's Level Lemonade, because of a dear friend of mine who's been supporting my business for the last decade. And he decided that it's time for me to stand on my own feet. And we were able to come to an arrangement which put me in the unique position to have 100% of my business back. I'm able to set it up on its own. And what makes it really unique at this point in time that I'm talking to you, there is $0 external debt. And I think I'm laboring that point a little bit because a dear friend of mine helped me to get to this situation, but also having looked into the world of crowdfunding, what have you, I don't have a millstone around my neck. I think that the time has come for Level Lemonade to have other people join us in ownership, because it's right and it's set up for itself in a financial safety that makes this comparably lower of an adventure than other things. So here's where I see you. You'll be the co-owner in crowdfunding with me and Level Lemonade. I have a 60-second gig here.
Nasty. Get a lemon squash. Sugar, get a water. We don't buy water. Water is a rip-off. Coconut water then. Please. I want something sparkling and refreshing. Kombucha, that's sparkling. Who likes kombucha? We talked into that one before. What about a Level Lemonade then? It's low in sugar, high in vitamin C, and really high in magnesium. You like magnesium? Good for us, right? Things like this. What's with the voice?
Now, I know, of course, that most of you in preparation for today have already hopefully tried the drink. I assume so, because my online store is having the best month ever. But just in case, I have the occasional person who hasn't tried it yet. So what makes the drink rather special is not just that it looks really groovy, but it's a formulated supplemented sports food. And with that, it features low sugar, but also high magnesium, high vitamin C. And at the same time, I'm not sure if you can hear that. It's a fizzy drink. So I'm trying to strike that balance as per my little commercial here with the angel and the devil, because I think most people have these in their dialogues. And the ability for us to position ourselves in the drink is in this. You don't really have to make that choice so much. So it's good for you, but it's also a really refreshing soft drink. So we launched with a, yes?
Can you, I think some people are having trouble hearing you. Can you maybe try twisting your AirPods closer towards your mouth?
Test 1, 2, 3.
That might be a bit better. I'll let you know if it's a bit more difficult to hear.
I can take these things out and just go through the normal screen thingy.
That sounds better, I think.
Can you hear me, team? Can
Yeah.
you hear me? Is this working?
Yeah, that's better. Sorry to interrupt you.
Apologies, I should have invested in a new set. Ultimately, everything into the lemonade. These are the 3 flavors we started with. The original pineapple and orange. We then soon added raspberry, which is selling surprisingly well. We also have a pink grapefruit, a smaller variant, a ginger, and pretty much exactly a year ago, we launched Level Lemonade and Cola. So when you see all this, what's important to see that is, the ability to make this brand stand out is certainly to do with the packaging. It's standout shelf packaging. And then when I took over the company, and then Katrine wasn't necessarily happy, I said, okay, so this is going to end one or two ways. Either we're going to build this brand, and it's going to be something for the future of us, but also otherwise I write the book FMCG, How to Not Do It. And there's many chapters, and I know many of you out there may have a chapter to add to this, but here the important aspect about this is in the book, if you have a proposition to the consumer and it depends on advertising to work, my tip is don't do it, because it'll potentially ruin you. So therefore, we've invested a lot into packaging the standout of it to make it a real brand. And I will not bore you too much with my history, but I know a thing or two about brands because I spent all my life, selling brands and had the opportunity to live a very exciting period of being in marketing for international FMCG in Germany, Japan, lived in Spain, and ultimately here in Australia. And then here I was with Red Bull, and at some stage I was given the opportunity to stay in Australia, to become Australian, and then tried here with private equity to launch 28 Black, then dared to do my own move towards the own company, have been allowed to have the exclusive distribution here for Arizona IST. And I did that at the time because I already had the idea for Level Lemonade, but also chapter in my book. In Australia, the graveyard of FMCG is full of beautifully packaged, great tasting products. The reason why so few actually make it in the end is because everybody underestimates the need for distribution and how hard it is in a country with 5,000 from coast to coast kilometers and a very brutal competition to get to a point that you'll get a bit of face time with any of the buyers. So I thought if I work hard for Arizona and 28 Black, I might actually have a chance by the time I have my own brand that people will pick up the phone. And that's pretty much what happened. I was able to launch in 2019 Level Lemonade. We've been, growing it steadily, first million in 2022. Now I'll speak a bit more over where we're taking it. But the important thing here is distribution. We have already a pretty good distribution base. Now there's about 3,000 outlets. And I think it's to the testament of the Australian spirit here, but the fair go, because a lot of these companies, you see, they're big companies, and make no mistake, it's always easier for a buyer to say no, always easier. So we've been given a lot of trust and support by these corporations to say, all right, then, occasionally we have to give a little Aussie business a chance too. And, and then still, it's still a daily battle and keeping the growth and what have you. But this is a very good base for you to come on board for us to grow this even further. And this couldn't be more true for all my partners in wholesale and distribution. So these are my distribution partners. And whilst there's limited space for logos, I hope I got most of you, if in case of some of my customers are watching, each and every one of you matters. The one to probably point out is the distributors. And the distributors it's a conglomerate of wholesalers. They're also all Australian-based business, owner-managed. And for a small company, if you don't have a partner like this, you stand no chance. Because you can't afford your own sales force. You need other people to believe enough to the brand and help you, that you invest in the right channels, etc. And this is what happened to us. So this is a very good base. It's I'm in the luxurious position that pretty much anyone here I can call, they'll pick up the phone, and you'll have to look long and hard to find another small startup brand that gets to this position. And that's been, a lot of work to get us to this position, but it's a great base to continue to grow. Now, speaking of growth, I'm not going to labor on too much about it, but we've just sold our 4th millionth bottle. And whilst, I remember from my time in Ripple, they probably did that in a week, 4 million bottles. But, at the same time, they probably had my annual marketing budget, and I was able to spend that in a day. In general, however, what I think a lovely Australian line is, flogging a dead horse. You cannot flog a dead horse to 4 million. We have an ever-increasing fan base. We have ever-increasing outlets, especially respectively gyms lately, fitness, health clubs, etc. Our numbers in the last 3 months were 30% up from previously. So it's happening, but it could happen a lot faster with your help. Now, a brand needs a good logo, insignia, standout packaging. We have that. Needs a good concept, most and foremost. And we are unique. Nobody else does what we do as a supplementary sports. But also in this little bit self-indulging chart, we have a lot of content. Whilst we spend such little amounts of marketing, we do have quite a bit of content, and we are also, quite experienced in, for me, to do distressed media buying. But also here, one of our favorites, our little mascot. Those of you who ran the City to Surf, he probably overtook you. It's not me running in that thing. It's a former professional athlete who overtook no less than 30,000 people up Heartbreak Hill. And we want to do more of this. For now, for this year, for all these other years, pretty much everything I put into promotion at point of sale. This is where we invest, because it's not just me, the small company. Anyone nowadays, if you do not promote on shelf, you'll die. You got to get the trial through trial enhancing promotions. So this is not about a profit and loss account. This is a hypothetical something, but I wanted to just quickly give you an idea that we are, we're not the loss leading, the cash burn phase is behind us. We are modestly profitable, but what also I'm sharing this slide because I want you to see that we are spending a significant amount of our income and profit on the point of sale and promotion. Yet it doesn't leave much more for the broader awareness reach. And that's where I think I'll be able to work so much better if you come on board to be my co-owner. Now, why am I raising funds? Well, had very little advertising so far, but it's selling. I now have in this unique position through a structural ownership that I can actually, have Level Lemonade stand on its own feet. I have zero external debt, and I'm through the cash burn phase. So overall, let's take a look at what's the opportunity. Why do I think that we will, with the support, we'll be able to substantially increase our growth? Bring it to the opportunity. First and foremost, lay of the land. We're in 2 segments. We are in the sports segment, which, because my perfect idea of somebody drinking a Level Lemonade is after the workout, a nice refreshment, fizzy drink after the workout, replenishing the magnesium, what have you. That is going to be $1 billion market in Australia in the next 2 or 3 years. But we are also in the segment of better for you beverages. Now, better for you beverages is doubling this year. And that's, that's the kombuchas and the coconut waters and all the other things that are good for you, etc. But I do feel that we are in the right place, that we have the wind that's carrying us up in sales will be because the segments that we play in are good segments. Now I'm going to share with you about 8 slides on market research. I'm a very opinionated person, but I do believe that I should be able to check occasionally with, what does the general population think? So we undertook a research, I'm not going to bore you with a statistical approach, but it's representative. And we had 1,128 Australians, all between 1845, all from urban areas, answer some questions about what they think and know about level M&A. Now, most importantly, first question to the audience, have you ever seen this drink? Have you ever seen it? 80% said no. Unimaginable to me because I thought you can't miss it, but yes, 80% had never seen it. And then let alone, of course, you guess it when you ask, so if only 20% have seen it, how many have actually tried it? It's only 4% of the Australian population have yet tried the drink. I think that the ability to make this work on the ratio 20%, 4 means 1 in 5 who knows about it, drinks it, will be able to, by increasing the awareness, be able to grow this. Now, also interesting, just dinner table knowledge, people and fitness, because this is a sports supplement drink. How many people do actually do exercise? Impressively in Australia, it's high. It's 3/4 of people do at least once a week try to exercise, be that a brisk walk to the fridge or just, an actual exercising routine. And for us, as we are in the business of sports supplement, you take a look at who has taken a sports supplement for health or sports performance, etc. That's also a very solid number, and when you then ask people open questions, so what do you take? And you could put in whatever, to my delight, and that was a bit of pot luck here, I'm sure, but 2 out of the top 3 mentioned what people take, which is vitamin C and magnesium supplements, is what we have in the level M&A proposition. Now, important to understand that here, the ability to have the high magnesium, low sugar, what have you. Of course, when you ask, are you aware of this as a supplement drink? Not surprisingly, most people are not. So only 10% said they saw the magnesium. But interestingly, for the opportunity that it represents, is that after you gave people, here's the concept, and then you rate them from before and after, 3/4 find it top 2 boxes high appealing thereafter, meaning that if I get we take the funds and put them in the right place and educate a bit about what this is, we will be able to turn these people into fans. If there's one slide today that you hopefully can remember, it's this one. I've been flogging this to 4 million units with only 20% ever having heard of it, and then ultimately only 4% having tried it. So imagine what it could do if 50% would have heard about us. Now, coming to my favorite part, the new product development. So I know that most of you probably had the opportunity to see the email that we sent out here with the Birchal team. So it's not like a real rabbit out of the hat. However, yes, we're going to go into a can as an additional packaging format. So interesting dinner table knowledge. So I asked another research, 1,000 Australians, for on-the-go fizzy drink, what's your preferred container? Is it an aluminium can or a PET bottle? Quick make up of your mind. What do you think the answer was? So it's actually almost 2/3 prefer drinking a fizzy drink from a can. Doesn't mean that the other ones, especially females, like to be able to reclose it by all means. But in general, the mainstream for fizzy drinks is in cans, and level M&A will be in cans. So it's an important part of the opportunity because it has a couple of benefits. First of all, it just reaches as per before the mainstream. Secondly, it helps me to future-proof the concept. Now, my product's beautifully PET, fully recyclable, etc., etc. Doesn't change the fact that many of my large customers have sustainability objectives in, their big shareholder reports. And I'm working with them to make sure that I'm not getting the wrong end of that stick. An example is I recently lost an excellent customer of mine who supplies catering for all the Australian mines, and miners love magnesium. So it sold well, yet then the mining corporation chose to know we're not going to have any plastic materials coming into the mine, so I lose the distribution. I'm really looking forward to gaining that back, and now I'm equipped to be able to have it back. Now, it also helps a lot with reliability. If you were ever wondering why the big corporations don't do a drink like this, because it's hard, and things go wrong, and it's slow, and it's just nothing but headaches. So the ability for us to broaden out into a packaging format that is a bit more forgiving in the way it's manufactured is going to help us, and mostly also is going to help us to remain competitive on cost pricing. I think, you know, sometimes when I lie awake at night, I'm thinking next life I'm going to sell nuts and bolts because they don't have a shelf life. However, that said, our shelf life will more than double by going into cans. And that's a great benefit because I can now sell a whole pallet to a smaller wholesaler who has enough time to sell through. And with our bottle having only, you know, maximum 8 months shelf life, this is making quite a difference for the opportunity to grow this business. And overall, you know, trying to keep the brand recognition. So ask the people, do you love it? And they do. We did a bit of a, and I do hope that you think that you share with in my belief that we've been able to keep the brand insignia very well represented. You know, this is it's a very premium proposition, and the ability to now take a look at, we're launching those 4 flavors. I chose those flavors because in research you get the whole franchise, all 7, and people could rate what's most appealing, second, third, up to 7, and those 4 combine to themselves the biggest portion of the top 3 flavors chosen. I think it's worthwhile mentioning, though, my personal favorite here, the 38% of Australians think that the level lemonade and cola is the most appealing concept, yet less than 1% have ever tried it. So again, here, people don't know about it, the distribution isn't there, we can make this work, it can fly like a kite. And so another little selfish topic is, this is no pie in the sky pipe dream. This is happening. This is the social media that we've done Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Okay. Day today. This is first ever level lemonade, pineapple in a can, fresh off the production line.
Sound's not really coming through, Krish. But that's okay. Everyone can see the moving images at least.
Anyway, you catch my drift. Well, the ability to, you know, obviously trying to get a bit of a buzz going. This is going to be available from November. And we're starting also a bit of the communication to the trade. But from next Wednesday, in case if you're interested, you can buy some and start, you know, to invest in your future shareholding by getting a mixed case that we're going to make available from the online store probably from Wednesday. Exciting times. The outlook. Now, I'm going to get carried away here easily. You know, this is not for me to tell you that we're going to, you know, launch another 10 flavors. I'm only sharing this slide with you to tell you that this is a concept with legs. You know, I have a pipeline of lovely looking drinks, and the strength of the brand is that each and every one of them is a clear level lemonade. Nobody else could do this kind of a branding. It's just us. Now, ultimately, and just so the ability to understand that 5% lemon juice is the common denominator for all of them, and, you know, getting carried away a little bit maybe, but just that you see in terms of the conceptual stage of our product, we are able to make this quite a unique and with a lot of growth potential behind it. We're also looking, this is just a concept, but just this is about me talking about the outlook. This is our take-home packaging that we are developing with a leading packaging manufacturer, Visi in Australia. This is at some stage in the future when it's going to be in the take-home. And again, I think there's, you know, it'll stand out. And that's, you know, something that is going to be at the core of our proposition. You know, it's like nothing else. Now, this is a very important aspect about the future opportunities. And that is when you look at us as a sports supplement drink, we are a high magnesium, high vitamin C, low sugar, fizzy proposition. Lovely. But at the same time, we're a sports supplement drink. And nobody tells me that I need to stay in magnesium as my unique selling proposition. There's a whole array of topics that we can touch. I can be, whatever is the protein, antioxidants, what have you, in terms of functionality. An interesting one to mention is caffeine. At the moment, by the legislation, it's not permitted to add caffeine to a sports supplement drink, but that legislation is under review, and the ability to, potentially it's a future if they allow caffeine. I think that's a great functionality to add to a level lemonade, or collagen is a big growth thing. And just in case you're wondering, Schnorpel, level lemonade, Schnorpel, I invented that word and I like saying it, Schnorpel. Schnorpel stands representative for pretty much anything, whatever this the next big thing in sports supplements. Just as long as it doesn't taste bad, I'm more than happy to put it into the level lemonade proposition. So overall, yes, we're positioning and we're pushing for magnesium, and that's where our target is. But make no mistake, in a couple of years from now, there'll be more than just magnesium in this brand. And you heard it here first. Ta-ta! We are going to launch in Q2. We're going to launch a new flavor, which is level lemonade and passion fruit. And I'm coming up with something that you as potential future shareholders get a little code and you can order it just before anybody else could. Now, not getting carried away, we are in Australia. We have a little bit of a partnership in New Zealand, and this is the ball in front of us. That's what we want to play. That said, not just because of the accent, but I have excellent relationships with the German market with my former partners. I also have excellent relationship with my partners and friends in the USA from Arizona IST. Now that's already great anchor points, but there's ever more interest, including from China. And again, the idea of this slide is just imagine what it could be. Getting into the topic of the raise. So I think I've explained that already. What would I do if I'd raise the fund? First and foremost, I got to get the brand awareness up for good. And then with that, I got to get consumer to try it. See it, then buy it. So further investment in promotion, of course, and sales distribution. Here's my friends from the team from the distributors in Brisbane who kindly allowed me to use their photo here. But the ability to have the ability to enthusiastically push on promotion and distribution of the brand. That's why I'm going to spend the funds on it, you hopefully entrust with me as a co-owner. And a bit more structured way of what we're going to use for the funds. There's going to be capital expenditure a little bit here, also with the can production, marketing, obviously, increasing awareness, distribution growth. Here's something I wanted to point out. Ultimately, on these logo charts, there's still some logos painfully missing. And I certainly shall not rest before I get, the two market-leading propositions that have to still be added. But I also, engaging further online sales. And for us, a core channel will be gyms and wellness. And there's a huge growth opportunity. And we're talking to a big vending operator there. So there's lots of good things in the making. And if we get to our stretch target, I think I could do with one more person in sales here to just sing and dance with me. But also we're going to, invest some in collaborating with agents to help us, further spread out to individual retail outlets. And then maybe getting ready for export. Now, the aim is, and I'm aiming to double by this time next year. The volume has every opportunity of having been certainly doubled. Now, on the vision, my first boss always used to say, if you have visions, you should go and see a doctor. So I'm not going to get carried away here neither. It's ultimately, this is a brand, it's a bit under the radar. I think it has a real opportunity to be unleashed. The high awareness that with your help I'll be able to get will allow us to get trial, get repurchase, etc., etc. That's how it's done. We are at this point in our history that we can invest and actually get a result from this. At some stage, we may look at another fundraiser, and ultimately, you as my future co-owners, all of us will eventually maybe come to a situation where we feel that we need another potentially an equity shareholder from a bigger beverage organization who can take this brand even further. But for now, eye on the ball. Let's make Australia a major success for Level Lemonade. brings me to my final wordy chant. In summary, can't flog a dead horse into 4 million bottles. We're growing in the right market segments. We're already in 3,000 stores. 80% have no idea that we exist, and we have no external debt. And when you add to this, our ability to have new products and a really exciting time out in the marketplace, plus our Schnuppel innovation in the making, I think I should invite you to become a shareholder with me. And in case it hasn't come across in the last 29 minutes, I'm a marketer, so I couldn't help myself. I had to create my own little share for this. Ignore what it says and the value of it, but focus on this. Your name could be here. So thank you so much for giving me, the time of day to hear me out about the opportunity. And I'm handing over back to Zoe. Thank you.
Thanks, Krish. Oh, who did that?
That's Ali. Well done.
All right, now everyone's distracted, not putting their questions to
No,
the
serious.
No, I'm kidding. So everyone, please don't forget to put your questions to the Q&A box, particularly asking who that person was just now. Thanks, Krish. Love your enthusiasm too, by the way. And yes, it's obvious you in marketing, but also love your passion for the product.
Thank you. It's not fake.
No, would never dare to think so. So I'll kick off with some questions. Some people asked that were answered throughout your presentation, but we'll just recap them anyway so that everyone's across everything. And yeah, I'll start with Yvette's question, which is the can totally replacing the bottle? Because Yvette prefers the bottle.
I don't think so at this point in time. And that has to do with, I took a closer look at those 38% who do prefer a bottle. And when you then look at the females, actually the females is 52% prefer a bottle. So it's actually a bit skewed, because the one downside that the can does not solve is you can't close it again. Once it's open, it's open. And so I went deep into the research investigating. So do you drink stuff in one go or not? And a quarter of the people don't drink it in one go. And that's, I don't want to lose those. Also, I do think that I have a lovely fanship following of, because I'm biased, but some people really, like the whole experience with a bottle. So at this stage, I consider the can a major step into getting into the mainstream of the, fizzy drinks market, but I should not foresee a way that people don't love my bottle elastic. If, however, as we say in Germany, that people vote with their feet and they stop buying the bottle, that's a different conversation to have. But I don't foresee it, and I don't intend it at this stage.
Yeah, interesting how after all these years we still don't have like an aluminium solution, that will close up a can. But anyway, that's a conversation for another day, and maybe another company that can come onto Birchal. Venkata has asked, do you have any future plans from the low sugar products to no sugar options?
Before I had my little animation, I always went about with my little inner devil finger puppet and my little inner angel. And the problem is I tried to get a no sugar one, but the devil didn't like it enough. I couldn't get it there, but I am certainly open-minded. The sugar is there because I couldn't make it taste just as good as the devil wanted it without any sugar. So it's low sugar. It's low sugar based on, it's a legally term. You cannot have more than 2.5 grams per 100, and that's what we have. But I'm very open-minded towards getting rid of the sugar. If somebody can come to me, maybe somebody in the audience, somebody has a great idea for having a way to get a sugar replacement that makes the devil happy, bring it on.
All right, cool. Krish, it'd be great maybe if you could leave your email address or contact details on the screen so people can get in touch with you.
Yeah, it's indeed. I'll put my belt into screen sharing.
Sure.
Screen. Here, afraid to put me on the spot? Write me an email.
Great. But don't be afraid to put him on the spot. All right. Hope that answers the question for Venkata. Jason has asked, is there a minimum investment required in this opportunity? And I can answer that one. So as you may have seen in Krish's presentation, the offer for the Level Lemonade is set to open next week. There will be a minimum investment amount as part of the investment application that goes in. We're still working on the terms of the offer right now, but I believe it will be from, I don't know, we haven't landed on the exact price, but it could be over $100. So keep your eyes out, because there is a really important document called the offer document, which you need to read and learn about the terms of the offer. But when we do open the offer up on the day, you'll see what the minimum investment amount is, and you can make your decision there. And also, if you haven't already, make sure you make an expression of interest so that you receive all the email communications and that you're up to date on what is happening with this campaign and investment opportunity, because that's the best way to get all this information, but also become one of the first investors in this company if you've liked what you have seen today. Venkata has asked again, is this a kids friendly drink?
Well, defining kids is going to be the thing here, because it shouldn't be. It's nothing for small kids. It says it's regulated by the Australian regulator that a sports supplementary drink, which this is not for children. Children under 15 and pregnant women should ask their dietitian or even doctor before they consume. That's what that is. That's not my warning. It's not because something special about Level Lemonade. Any supplement carries that warning. So I'm not actively marketing this in any case to children. I do think that a part of the success is when I first developed the drink, I was speaking to a very senior executive at then Schweppes, and he's amazed, and he said, Chris, it's healthy, but it doesn't look healthy. It doesn't look healthy. And I know, that's the trick. It doesn't look healthy, but it is healthy. It's good for you. It's safe. There's no worries in any kind of way, but ultimately this is for sporty 15-year-old and older people.
Do you think that you might ever look into going into more maybe like a children's drink market? The secret of an open-minded entrepreneur is never say never, but at the moment, I'm quite comfortable in the area that we are playing with. And it also comes to spending money. Don't get me wrong. But ultimately, the ability to market to the people that I market to, active individual with a bit of a premium mindset, urban. These are the people who can buy a drink for $3.95. Yeah. Cool. So Chris did cover this one off in the presentation, but I think it's good just to recap on, because I was very surprised and happy to see that you will be introducing larger size bottles soon with the 1 litre range. So yes, can you tell us more about when they might be coming to market, or share any more details if you have them, Chris?
Right. Here's what we're going to do. Once we all shareholders, etc., we do like a marching band to Woolworths and Coles and ask them to maybe add that to their repertoire, because at this moment I have to underline, this is a concept. I do like the concept a lot. It's a concept. It's on the card. It's developed, but take-home market. I mean, this talking about competitiveness. I have this here. My thank you to the patient people at Woolies. I have this in the sports drink aisle in ambient. This like 12 centimeter wide proposition. This is hard. But the battle for this 12 centimeters, I think they have another 10 people lining up behind me wanting my space. So before they'll cut me a half a meter per flavor on in the ambient take-home pack, I think it'll be a while. But I do think that this is an absolute. This is gonna volume-wise, it's going to be great. But it's a concept.
Cool, and probably be available first online.
Certainly for the shareholders.
Great. That's the right answer. Isaac has also asked, how do we ascertain that the company has no debt? And I can ask that one. I can answer that one, Isaac. So once again, next week we hope to go live with our offer, which means that Level Lemonade will begin taking investments from the crowd. When the offer does go live, you will be able to access a document called the offer document. And in that are the full terms of the offer, the company's valuation, the share price, the minimum and maximum investment amount, and also the last 12 months of financial statements. And once again, Birchal acts as the gatekeeper here. So we make sure all our companies adhere to ASIC laws and requirements. So the financial reports will be in line with ASIC requirements. So yeah, I hope that when the offer opens, you look at the offer document and you yourself can take a look at the financial statements for the company.
If you're not going to take my word for it, that is, because we are debt-free.
That's it. But all investors should do their due diligence anyway, we say. This is a good question from Jason. Jason has asked, how often will investors receive reports on the performance of their investment? Or rather, how would you also like to communicate with investors, Krish, and how often?
So I do love the idea of having, a whole team. I really envisage that all of us, we're team Level Lemonade, and I probably will, I'm not going to cross the line into spamming, but definitely get a quarterly report. I do love the discipline of a quarterly report, because if you don't do that, just floating about and you don't know exactly where you stand. So my intention is to do, obviously legally, I must do an annual report, but my intention is to do quarterly reports. And then I'll probably arrest you with all the little good news snippets that we'll be able to achieve together. So I intend to be rather informative.
Great, thank you. Isaac has also asked, what is the return on investment? And Isaac, this is a question we get asked really often. The answer on this one is that there is no guarantee on a return on investment when you invest in early stage companies on Birchal, and especially, when they're early stage startups and growing businesses. So a company may choose to provide dividends to shareholders once profitable, and information about that can be found in the offer document and also the company constitution. But we really encourage investors to, head to the Birchal website, learn more about the types of shares that you're purchasing, because oftentimes, you may not receive dividends, or the company has plans to grow quite significantly over the coming years to then maybe plan for an exit, an acquisition, or something else. So it's really important to read the documents that are available when the offer opens, so that you can have an understanding what the plans might be for a return on your investment. But you should consider these as quite a medium to long-term investment, and you're not able to sell your shares either. So it's really important that you become familiar with what you're purchasing. While Krish is also answering the next question, I'll try and find one of our help article links and respond to you with it, so that you can learn a bit more just about Birchal's advice on getting returns on your investments too. Okay, sorry, there's a bit of a discussion that I've missed with Juliano, or maybe Giuliano. I'm sorry if I pronounced that incorrectly. It's more of a statement, but Juliano said stevia is the most common and accepted sugar replacement at the moment. Krish, I'm sure you've maybe tried stevia.
Yeah, my devil doesn't like it.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, we're done with that question, sorry. But we'll keep exploring. If anyone has any other good sugar-free options.
Sorry, maybe in seriousness, I think this is what I mean. I'm open-minded for whatever is it, and there are advancements that I'm following. That I probably should have shared that. I'm not just here that our little trench fighting gig. We are working with some of the best in the world and big corporations in my flavor supply, etc. And they are onto it, and they are certainly been told by me, if you got something amazing, let me know. However, for now, my devil thinks stevia tastes a bit like licorice and doesn't make my lemonade what it wanted to be. So for now, no stevia.
Okay, I love licorice, by the way. If you could make a licorice flavor, that would be great. I would definitely drink that.
Look, I'll say yes to that now.
All right, we'll keep talking. I also just responded to that person who asked about the return on investment, Isaac, with an article to Birchal's Help Centre, which just covers off a bit more about what kind of return on investment you could expect in an investment through Birchal. All right, I better get a hurry on with this because we have 17 questions to get through. Juliano, and I apologize if I'm pronouncing your name incorrectly again, but all right, there's a lot of financial questions with this one. And once again, we don't really have time to go through a lot of these. Krish, if you would like to maybe touch on whether you have any loans or how much you're holding in the company's account as cash flow, you're welcome to. But once again, we will have all this financial information available in the offer document, but you're welcome to reach out to Krish directly to have a conversation about this, or Krish, if you'd like to touch on some of the deeper financials now, you're more than welcome to.
I think that I'll leave that for when the offer document is out there. The only thing I can tell you that the amazing fatherly gesture that I got from my friend in Luxembourg, who allowed me to take this brand and be debt free, that is what makes this rather special. There is no external debt. If I would have everything that we spend to build it here, that would be a couple of millions, but there is none. There's nothing on the books for external people. Just, it's true. Go for it.
Are you comfortable answering a question about how much inventory you're holding right now?
So let me leave this. There's no worries about this. If anything, I don't have enough. I'm not stuck with anything at the moment. I mean, of course, we just produced the cans, and the ability to now make this to fill the pipeline, what have you. It's just one of these little moments. Visi called me 2 weeks ago. I ordered 500,000. Said, "Oh, Chris, not great news. We are beyond capacity, and we have to just stop. We're only going to give you 200,000 this week." And that's my problem. We are fighting to hold the stock levels at the minimum. I'm trying to have 3 weeks stock, but the warmer it gets, the less likely that becomes. But so there's no dead bodies somewhere in the P&L.
Okay, well, that sounds like a really good problem to have.
You say that until you have it.
Yeah,
it's the daily hill. Either too much of something or not enough. You never get it right. Anyway, that's for another book.
Jason has asked, do you do sponsorships? I have a basketball clothing brand, and I plan to have a yearly tournament / event with audience / food trucks, possibly level. All right, Jason, it sounds like you might need to get in touch directly with Krish. But Krish, do you want to talk about whether you've done any sponsorships in the past?
Minutely, the way that I see this, I'm a big fan of, my background from Red Bull, etc. If somebody, needs any proof that I endorse the idea of being engaged in an activity that helps the brand recognition, I'm sure nobody doubts that. However, it's expensive. And the ability to somehow turn this into, my brand is still so young, the brand image has to be underlined by a trial. So what I do is bartering. You put my logo everywhere, I get everything, etc. And I provide, a palette of level lemonade that everybody gets to drink a chilled level lemonade. I do not so far engage in anything where I have to sign a contractual agreement, etc. That said, it might well be on the cards. Occasionally something comes past my desk, I think, man, that would be good. But I just, from a cash flow point of view, it's a challenge.
All right. Well, it sounds like Jason might need to get in touch with you to talk business.
Email or on the screen, yeah.
Yes, but sponsorships are definitely a good way to get through to your sporting audience.
I'm here.
Tony McIntosh, I think you know him.
Yes.
Tony has just said, I'm one of Krish's largest distributors in Australia and can certainly confirm the product's volume, success, and future opportunities. So thank you, Tony. Much appreciated.
That is so nice. That's really, and it's not called for. This is just, thank you so much. That's a lovely line. I think we should end the meeting immediately. That's just so good. We can't get any better. But then again, okay, please go on. Thank you, Tony.
We're getting a lot of questions, so we must go on. Isaac has asked, what is the price per share? I really apologize, Isaac, and to everyone else on the call, but it's once again a detail that's going to become available when the offer opens next week. So make sure you express interest, like put your EOI through the Birchal platform so that you're on the list and you're getting all the details about when everything is going to happen, but also so you can be one of the first investors. There might be some great rewards for investors, not going to say much more. But yeah, that's the best way to find out all the information early on. And once again, I apologize for being a broken record, and I think Krish might be giving away some hints here. Craig has asked how many shares are available and what total shares will make up the company. Craig, my sincerest apologies. Once again, it's information that's going to be available in the offer document. So terms of the offer will be available when the offer opens, and you'll be able to learn all about this and what kind of equity Krish is giving away through this crowdsource funding campaign when that's available. So once again, express interest. Keep your eyes peeled, please. Romy has asked, and once again, I apologize if I pronounce your name incorrectly, has asked, will it be coming to more gyms across Australia? Are you in any gyms right now, Krish?
We are, and we're also in some wellness areas. So one of our most wonderful customer groups is City Cave. It's wonderful setup. So, and they are a repeat purchaser of our drinks, and or here in the Well in Bondi. But there is a company that's specializing in vending machines and gyms, and I am singing and dancing my heart out to them. And too early to call, but something's in the making, because I do totally acknowledge that my best target market, the early adapters that I need to get to, is people who are exercising. You know, half of them take magnesium supplements anyway. And you know, to look into something that's maybe an alternative, a functional drink, alternative to just another energy drink. So I know this is one of the, it's not a low-hanging fruit. It's not easy to jump that hit, but I do acknowledge with the question that this is a huge opportunity for us.
Cool. And Tony, once again, being a legend, saying if you attend a gym, ask them to range it. So that's a good idea. Ask for level in your gyms.
I should do this more often. I love it. Yes, absolutely. Yeah.
Marissa has asked, and we covered this off earlier, but if you're looking into sponsoring athletes or influencers, so that's a little bit different from obviously sponsoring sports teams or events. Have you ever done this? Or
we had a little bit of a test balloon with influencer marketing. Again, comes down to the ability to that we have the sorry, I just lost my thread. Influencer, yeah. We have been going out and have had a few $1,000s in that, and I do think we're going to do more with that. Right? It's just that the big hitters in that market, they can probably, I can probably ruin myself just by making them to endorse it. However, I do believe nowadays, and also with the functionality of the product, that it's most believable if I find people on the influencer side that endorse the product for what it is.
Yeah, if you are an athlete who needs sponsoring, you can also email Krish.
Yeah, I think I have a great supporter in Queensland, Anaru. Shout out to you. So he's got a running group, and he started this, and it's basically all of a sudden, with this one influencer, he's been able to really to expand the reach of the brand, and I think that there'll be more of that. But for now, trying to stay modest and also focused. The real big influencers, like when this is 6 digits for whatever they do, and I don't have those 6 digits, and if I get them through crowdfunding, I wouldn't spend them on that.
Good answer. Just so you're aware, also, Krish, Yvette's backing me for a licorice flavor. So thanks, Yvette. Market research done. Weston has asked, is there a board that oversees the business? So yeah, now's a great time to maybe tell us about some of the broader team and people that.
Exactly. Let me quickly, because I had a chart for that somewhere. Let's see if we can get that into the thingy. Can you see that?
Yep. Might need to make it a little. Oh no, it's okay. Yep.
So that's a good question, and ultimately, I think we will have a board, and that will be more, not so much the junket director. It'll be of people that have an influence to our business, and they can give us advice on terms of how to avoid some of the traps that are out there. But I think the slide worth sharing here is that yes, we're a little bit of a trench fighter company under the radar with only 5 people. However, make no mistake. Here, this is my creator team. This is Döhler Beverage, second largest producer of flavors and compounds. I have reputable bottling companies that big groceries have let them fill their drinks. It's the largest Australian packaging companies who supply the raw materials for my drink. Most important here to mention my dear friend Heidi. She's has a Master of Public Health and Nutrition, and getting advice, coming up with which of the nootropics and what have you going to do. All these kind of people. I think I'll have a group of people around me. I just must find a way that I don't have to pay anyone anything for being on my board. But I do certainly think that I will set up some kind of a guiding panel. And here, lastly, I am a proud member to the Australian Beverage Council, on the Food and Grocery Council, to the Australian Convenience Association. All these things are asked of people, and that's the lovely thing about Australia. There's a lot of goodwill in the market, and I get a lot more time, more face time than I would deserve from the business that I represent. But all these people around us are actually helping me to turn this into what I believe will be a great success story.
Great answer. Anara has just also made a comment saying products are amazing, and I can also attest to the product being one to contend with in the future. Being a great supporter of Level myself, I totally love the product and the company.
Lovely. Thank you. Lovely.
Ben Carter has asked, is there any existing competition with similar ingredients other than the same category products? So,
well, it's a good question, and one of my abilities to speak to anyone who's potentially taking my print aboard, I say, ultimately, give me any opportunity. You can put it next to the lemonade. That's where the devil goes, and then all of a sudden there's another proposition. Or you put it next to the vitamin waters or Barocca, that's already people who buy a drink in order to get some functionality out of it, hangover cure, what have you. Or you can go to the new lifestyle drinks, which is the better for you. That's where the angel goes, to the coconut waters of this world, etc. So I am considering myself, I can source volume from a whole array of aspects. My personal favorite is next to the sports drinks. Because there, the ability of people knowing about magnesium is the sportier you are, the more likely you know about magnesium, being good for you.
Thank you. We're just going to wrap up with these last few questions. So I'll try and get through them before we close off today's session. Craig has asked, what is your ultimate goal in IPO, and if so, approximately when? I'll take this one, Krish, but you're welcome to chime in.
No, you take it.
Yeah, first of all, thanks, Craig, for asking. It is a question we get very often. Usually when people are investing in companies through Birchal, shares are illiquid. A company can have the goal to, trade or purchase the company or list on an IPO. So Krish can talk to whether that is a goal, and that might be information that's available in the offer document. But it's important that we make no promises of this occurring and saying when, just due to the regulations that we're operating in as well. So yeah, you'll have to make your decision about your investment based on the details you're getting in the offer document. But once again, a lot of the companies that we are working with are looking to grow their business so that, maybe an exit or an IPO or a sale or something can eventuate. And that's usually what investors are looking towards in regards to a return on their investment as well. So Krish, without making any promises or saying when, would you ever consider an IPO, or would you like to keep the company more within your reins?
all I can say is that I don't have that on the radar at the moment. So nose down, bum up, and let's turn this into something great. And then eventually that we might be able to spread it even further by all means. But I don't have this in the short, not even medium term focus. I think that with the help of the people that we are talking to today, we'll be getting already enough towards that we have the ammunition that we need to grow.
Thank you. Great. And yeah, there'll be more information in the offer document too. Okay. Sorry, I'm just trying to catch up on a few more questions. This one's from Levi. Levi is asking, are there any opportunities for employment or sales contract avenues? I'm very interested and love the product, and I noticed it about a year ago, and it's all I really buy from servos now for a drink. Cool.
Well, thanks, Levi. That's a great attitude. And I think that as per my slide in terms of one of the areas is organizational capabilities and trying to be able to maybe afford another person. I will make that available when the time comes, certainly very prominently on our webpage. And I'm for certain one of the minimal requirements to come and work for me is you got to be a glowing enthusiast, and therefore I think, Livy, that's already a great first step. And
you'll have to wear that costume for the first 100 days of your job.
Well done, Eileen.
Hugo has asked, can you expand on the investment opportunity, how the share system works here, and what is the return on investment? Hugo, I am sorry if you maybe came in late or haven't heard this before, but essentially the investment opportunity is that you're buying ordinary shares, or if you were to become an investor, of course, you'd be buying ordinary shares in Level Lemonade. You are an ordinary shareholder, and you will have exactly the same rights as other shareholders would as well. The way the share system works is a bit differently with crowdsource funding shares compared to what you may purchase on the ASX, for example. It's not easy to trade or sell your shares, and these shares are not considered liquid. So when you do purchase your shares at Birchal, you need to be looking at them with a medium to long-term view. Once again, the way that shareholders can exit from the company or sell is through the company selling or considering an IPO or an exit. So once again, I would encourage you to just read all the details when the offer comes out to learn about how the company plans to handle this. What is the return on investment? We can't comment on what the return on investment is. Again, this is an early stage business. It's not suitable to even make future projections because ASIC considers that misleading and representative. So we have to be really careful with the information we give out here and just work and talk to more immediate results that we're seeing. So I really encourage you to head to the Birchal FAQs. I also included some helpful links in the chat when you came in. So I hope this helps answer your question. And if you're after more information, the Birchal website is a great place to go to learn more about investing in crowdsource funding. Kevin has put through a suggestion, which is there are beverage products that come in resealable aluminium bottles, which are popular in Asian markets. Might be a future possibility.
Very much so. Very much so.
Heard about this, but sounds good.
Yeah, expensive though, but yes, I'm on it. I'm on it.
All right, great. All right, we're going to wrap up soon. Hugo has also asked, how much money are you expecting to get from investors? Hugo, we're still in the expression of interest stage, so we're gathering data and interest from potential investors like yourself, which does help us set the parameters for the offer and also what kind of targets we're going for. So once again, and I'm sorry, everyone, I become a broken record in these sessions sometimes. Please wait for the offer to come out so you can see what the target will be. Would you like to add anything further, Krish?
No, I think from my point of view, I just want to thank everybody to having taken the time, a whole hour out of their day I must say I almost enjoyed it, and the ability for me to give you a last gesture. Become my co-owner. We can do something amazing together. And if you had still any doubts, then on Wednesday, go and get yourself a mixed pack, buy yourself a mixed pack of cans from the online store. And I think that will eliminate the last bit of doubt. So thank you so much for the consideration. My emails down there was in the slide. Looking forward to having you as my co-owner. Thanks, guys.
Thanks. And we didn't get through all the questions, but yeah, as mentioned, if you like to get in touch with Chris, you're more than welcome to. There will be a recording available, so we can circulate that after this session. But and also you can hop onto the Birchal YouTube page to review this once I've done a little bit of editing as well. Once again, feel free to engage with Chris if you have any further questions, and thanks for coming along. And please make sure you express interest so that you're kept up to date with everything going forward. Thanks all, and thanks for joining.
Thank you so much. Thanks, Zoe. Bye.